The topic of today's episode is Kundalini and her seven sister powers. We will address what Kundalini means, who are her seven sister powers in the various chakras, how Kundalini and her sister powers awaken, and what happens when they awaken in the wrong or right orders. As always, we will end with a live chant. So to start, Sri Shyamji, could you please explain what Kundalini means?
Yes. Kundalini is all dormant energy that is not yet used. That's why it's dormant. For example, tomorrow is dormant. Energy for tomorrow is there. But at the moment, because tomorrow has not happened, it is dormant. So there is tremendous amount of dormant energy every form of life has. Every tree, every bird, every human being. So that is the nature of Kundalini. Think of it as a coil in a bulb. Actually, the word kundal means a coil, because that coil is like 3.5 rounds on the first linga, it is called, Swayambhu Linga, where there is the first desire principle, motivational principle, which is basically survival, procreation, and managing your family affairs.
So Kundalini is dormant in the first linga for all human beings?
Correct. Not human beings, all forms of life.
And what does it mean for Kundalini to have sister powers?
Sister powers are there to pave the path for the Kundalini to be able to rise in a proper channel. There are 3 channels in the sushumna canal. Sushumna canal, you understand? The central, there is Ida, left nostril, Pingala, the right nostril, and then there is sushumna. When both nostrils are evenly open, it is called sushumna breath. Related to them, there are 3 channels in the sushumna. There is a right channel called Vajrini, there is a left channel that is called Chitrini, and then there is a central channel that is called Shiva Nadi, Shiva path. Kundalini is supposed to arise in the central channel, and if the practices done are not complementary, then it can rise in a wrong channel.
What does it mean for the practices to be complementary?
Complementary means that you first work with the blockages and openings in your microchakras related to the right channel, Vajrini, which develops in the first 3 years for the little girls and 3.5 years for the little boys. As you may recall, if you have studied microchakra psychology, which I believe you have, mother's contractions, they stimulate all the energy that the little baby in the body of the mother has. Those contractions, they start the stimulation so that it starts to descend from the 7th chakra to the 6th and down to the 1st. So those practices we need to do to remove the unity of the blockages that has occurred in the first 3 or 3.5 years of life. So that's what I mean by using the sister powers so that they can help us get rid of those saboteurs, we call them. They sabotage.
And the sister powers, they correlate to the 7 chakras. Which one is in the first chakra?
First chakra power is called Dakini, Dakini. Now, Dakenee's job is to keep you grounded so that you don't lose your balance regardless of what the external circumstances may be. When Dakenee is established, that awakens on the left channel Another, her counterpart, so to speak, is Ganesha in the left channel. Ganesha actually is a very beautiful mantra to awaken. So Dakini really has to act under the guidance of Ganesha, so that both of them clear the path of the right channel and the left channel, so that the energy can move into the central channel where Kundalini is supposed to arise.
How would somebody know if Dakini is awake?
By analyzing your behavior, how easily you are perturbed, how easily you feel insecure. Then there are some symptoms that you can read in the microchakras, such as if you are getting your deep sleep, sleeping on your stomach, you know your Dakini is not quite functional. Your Dakini is asleep, because sleeping on the stomach is not a very healthy posture. You see, there are forces in our subtle bodies that either help you or they go against you. When they go against you, you're attracted to junk food, you're attracted to bad relations, toxic relations. It is a very psychological understanding of yourself. Second chakra, you have difficulties if you sleep in the fetal position. That's one of the symptoms that the Rakenee, her name is Rakenee, Rakini. When Rakenee is awake and in the left channel Hanuman is not awake, then you will be sexually confused. Sexual identity will not be established. You may experiment this and you may experiment that, but you don't really pay attention to what is the intention of the second chakra, mind. You see, each chakra gives birth to a mind. Mind is what desires things. Brain is employed to provide the objects of desire. But the desiring mind is what orders the brain to provide. So when Rakenee is awake, Hanuman is awake, you have a harmonious relationship with your own second chakra mind.
And when you talk about these first two chakras and awakening both the sister power and the consort, the mantras for those chakras are the ones that will help, or are there specific mantras for the Kundalini sister powers?
Kundalini's sister powers mantras are designed privately because the state of the awakening varies from person to person. Whereas the counterpart, those mantras we put out for people to be able to hear at a proper time, which is usually before the sunrise. And then later, in order to awaken the sister powers, we might recommend specific mantras that are designed for a specific individual, depending on the relationship between the Rakenee and Hanuman, so to speak. Third chakra is Lakenee. Her name is Lakini. And the counterpart, they are not consorts, by the way. They are counterparts. That means there is a power in your right channel, there is a power in your left channel. And that mantra in the left channel is Ram. Rama helps in reversing the fiery triangle, which is in the third chakra, is called Manipur chakra. Mani means a jewel. But the problem is that the light of that jewel is being pulled by the gravity, which is nature's plan, so that you can procreate and you can occupy a piece of land for your home. That little aggressive energy, it provides you. However, when the three chakra minds are content, then the Ram mantra will help in reversing that fiery triangle. And it's very important in life to discover how to use the Ram mantra.
With the sister power,
Lakenee,
what symptoms would suggest it's awake or not?
One of the symptoms is that you sleep on your back, like a royal, you just want to, that's how you get your deep sleep. That's one of the symptoms. The other symptoms Other systems may be narcissistic kind of a personality, always trying to be in front of the camera, trying to be domineering, whether in a conversation or in our behavior. So that shows that the relationship between Rama on the left side and Lakenee on the right side is not harmonious.
Talking about these first three sister powers in the first linga, are these the most common to awaken inappropriately or out of order?
Well, it is not really linear. Human psyche is not linear because there is no central point. It's everywhere. Like the universe is everywhere. There is no central point in the universe. It's not linear. And now they are suspecting that there is a parallel universe. And there is parallel universe. We receive the energy from that parallel universe as well. That's how the chakras get their light.
Have you seen many clients or students that have had issues with Kundalini awakening inappropriately or in the wrong order?
Kundalini does not awaken. It's a myth. It takes years and years and years of proper sadhana, proper means to apply to awaken Kundalini. Let's first have a harmonious relationship between our right channel, left channel, right hemisphere, left hemisphere. Kundalini rises in the central channel, which is connected with your animal brain, cerebellum. Your cerebellum has 4 times more neurons than in your neocortex. That may be a news for you. 4 times more neurons. Most people just work with the left and right channels, or left and right hemispheres, with 90 billion or so neurons. Until the scientists will understand that there is a parallel universe, that there is a subtle body in which there are shining chakras that are giving the light to us. But that only happens when you are able to internalize your senses, which starts to happen when you tune into the heart chakra. It's called Anahat chakra.
Okay, so that brings us to the fourth. What's the name of the sister power there?
Kakenee, Kakini. Kakenee. And Kakenee has to be in touch with Ishan Shiva, which is the left channel. Here you really get in touch with your 4th dimension. You see, what happens is, in the first chakra age, we are in 1 dimension, me. That's it. First 6 years for girls, 7 years for boys, it's me. In the 2nd chakra age, it is me and you. We befriend. In the 3rd chakra age, it is more command. Who is controlling it? Competition. Power. You see, in the heart chakra, it is more of a surrender. It's a state of love. A state. Not doing love, not making love. That happens in the 2nd chakra. 4th of the 1st, you love your body. 4th of the 2nd, you love your mate. 4th of the 3rd, you love your neighbors. You love your kind. In the heart chakra, there are no limits. There are no boundaries. It's all inclusive. It's a state of love. You love mankind. You love the planet Earth. That's a very different mindset. And that is not always awake in everybody, because the relationship between Kakenee in the right side and Shiva, Ishan Shiva on the left side is not harmonious.
What would you recommend to improve that harmony?
Seva, selfless service in any form. Any institution you believe in, serve them without expecting anything from it, not even thanks. Because it's something you just do. If that helps. doing purifications, becoming aware of an energy called sattvic energy. In the first 3 chakras, there is no understanding of what sattvic energy is. It's only in the heart chakra mind that can appreciate. Heart chakra mind knows one thing: love. Problem of the heart chakra mind is it doesn't know who to love, what to believe. Therefore, people remain kind of gullible. Kind of. So then they look for an authority who is then supported by another authority, and then you start to accept that as a belief. Every religion is based on that.
And then when we get to the 5th, is that when we know better who to love?
In the 5th chakra, you actually have a mind of the 5th chakra. That is your inner guide. That's when you know where to invest your heart chakra energy. 3rd chakra mind is rational. You can rationalize anything. But the 5th chakra mind is really the mind of what is called jnana, the knowledge. That is the knowledge that you have accumulated from past lives, from past experiences, since you were a single cell amoeba. You made it through all the evolution, you made it. And that knowledge is there. We're just not in touch with it. In India, we call that inner guru. And then there is an outer guru who is supposed to introduce you to your inner guru. That is the dharma of the teacher, duty of the teacher, to introduce you with your inner guru. And then inner guru will take you because now you know the path. So there, Sadashiva is in the left channel and Saakenee, goddess Sakini, in the right channel. And the symptoms of that is when they are in a harmonious relationship, when you close your eyes, you start to hear certain sounds. They are very, very beautiful, very melodic. What can I tell you? You got to hear it too. You got to hear it to get... They're intoxicating, by the way. And when people can't, and the 5th chakra mind becomes a little bit active, then they're drawn to drugs. Psychedelics, especially. Because the psychedelics kind of put you in touch with that state, which is like the internal knowledge, and you become more in tune with your subtle body as long as the effect of psychedelics lasts. And that too, if you take the psychedelics in a wrong way, without preparation, that can also have a negative consequence. I know more about that than anyone else that I know, because I used to work with the teenagers and young adults. In 1967, I started in 65, 67 and 68. Those were the years when I developed the microchakra psychology. And it was so incredible. I was in New York, and these things were getting more and more popular, and people were just taking these drugs without any guidance, without any preparation. So they were freaking out. And I used to see as many as 20, 30, 40 people a day. And I was working for free at that time because I had saved some money from before. And my teacher told me that go back to America and just spend all that money in serving people. So it took me a couple of years to exhaust every penny I had. So my student George once told me that, did you check your bank balance and see what's happening? My God, I had $35 left at that point.
Oh,
I didn't have money for the next month's rent. Thank God he reminded me to look. And then I started to charge $2 for a meditation session. 50% of the people stopped coming because now I became a materialistic. I was no longer the holy man of the village. I became materialistic. And I would feed them organic food in those $2.
Sounds like a bargain. I wish you'd do that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, guys, want to interject. People that are interested in the topic you were just touching on, the altered states of awareness, episode 8, the episode right before this one, is all about that. So you can just listen in there. To summarize a minute here, we talked about the 5 sister powers. We talked about their counterparts in the first 5 chakras. And earlier I asked if Kundalini awakens incorrectly, and obviously I didn't say that properly. So I'm wondering if the proper way to look at it is if the sister powers awaken in a certain way, does that create psychological, emotional, physical consequences? And I'm curious if you've had many students that is what's happening, and why is that happening?
You see, the harmonious relationship between the 2 powers that we have in each chakra is very important. But there are not many teachers that really know how to guide people because they do not have the understanding of the chakras properly. Some people think that the chakras are blocked. Chakras don't block. Chakras are like the sun, whose duty, whose dharma it is to shine. Yes, sometimes a cloud comes in front of it, but the light is still there. So the light of the chakras is coming to us all the time. We just do not have a proper understanding of how to create harmony between the 2 sides. You see, human body is divided in actually 3 parts. If you look at your brain, you have a cerebellum. That's connected with your animal brain, right? That's the animal brain. And then you have the recent, what is called the neocortex, right? The right hemisphere of the brain and the left. So one feels and one thinks. One is rational, one is more feeling oriented. This much scientists do know. What is the connection between the animal brain and these 2? That's something, when you do proper, sadhana, spiritual work, you begin to look at these 3 as your most precious possessions. And you try to create a harmony. Otherwise, the 6th chakra mind will never awaken. It's there, the light is there, but you are not awake to it. It's just like the sunlight is outside, but you live in a cave, in a basement. You are afraid of the light. You don't go out. So you know that the light is there, but you are not absorbing it. You are not taking it. Therefore, you will always lack vitamin D, or D3 especially. So, knowledge is the first thing to realize. When I found that ignorance, that people were thinking that the chakras get blocked, then I realized that their chakras, light travels through the microchakras. And those pathways, they get blocked. 50% almost of the right channel is blocked from the ignorant ways, the way we produce babies. Do you know of any animal that lays down to produce a baby? Every animal takes advantage of the gravity, and the baby comes out. It's only the ignorant humans that lay down to produce a baby. 50% of the microchakras get blocked because of that custom. You're supposed to be scientific. Yeah, cut your body and take the baby out. In emergency, it's fine. That's what medicine is for emergency. Not for normal, healthy delivery, normal, healthy lifestyle. So the 6th chakra mind does not awaken, which means the relationship between the Haakenee and Sadashiva does not really develop properly. It's the 6th chakra mind that will throw light on your shadow side, which is what Carl Jung was trying to do with his patients. But he didn't have much understanding of the chakras. But at least he was sensitive enough to know that there is a shadow side of every human being that we are not conscious of. So in discussions, he used to try to interpret the dreams and so on. You know, sixth chakra mind is very, very complex on one side and extraordinarily beautiful on the other side. So you need to take interest in yourself. We are trained to take interest in the other. We are always trying to do things outside, as if the senses are only designed for the outside world. Every single sense that we have has a counterpart within. I can get up in the morning and I can just smell my own breath, and I know how well have I digested my food or how well I have not. From the taste in my tongue, I can tell what I should be eating today. Eyes can be internalized. You can visualize things inside yourself. Feeling mind, you can have higher feelings within yourself. Sounds, you can hear beautiful music outside, but wait till you hear the 36 melodies that are going on inside yourself. That leads to your naada yoga. That's what I practice, and I'm ever grateful to my teacher who introduced me to this yoga.
Is Hakenee the sister power in the sixth chakra?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and then is there a sister power in the seventh chakra?
That is called Yashvini, and her counterpart is only the sound, which is Om. That's her counterpart. Seventh chakra is...
How do you spell her name?